Fly fishing with hoppers is easy, like how easy it is to eat an entire bag of Doritos in one sitting. There's no nuance to hopper fishing either. You just throw the fly out there, let it drift any way it wants, and the fish fall all over themselves for it. That's certainly the picture painted by a lot of fly fishing media, but as usual, it's far from the truth. Fishing with hoppers and catching the big fish who do want to eat that sort of meal requires some strategies that just aren't talked about often enough. For example, twitching the fly, yes, adding drag on purpose can be hugely effective. So today on Untangled, you'll learn how we fish hoppers here at VFC, why these tactics work for us, and how you can start using them in your own fishing. This is Untangled, fly fishing for everyone, presented by Ventures Fly Co. Hey everybody, welcome to it. This is Untangled, and I am your host, Spencer Durant, alongside, remind me, your name again?
It hasn't been that long.
It has been 8 metric years, and because it's metric, there's no way to tell exactly how long that's been. It's been a while since you've been on the show with me.
Yeah, a couple months.
Alex isn't even the first guest in our new studio. For those watching the video podcast, that honor was given to Riley Bayless, one of the members of our school group who we interviewed a couple weeks ago on the show. So, I mean, how's it feel to be in here, Alex?
Love it. Yeah, a lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, tears, sleepless nights.
Went into creating all this.
Yeah.
Now, we got to get one thing on the record. What compliment did we receive on this set and from who?
So this is a new warehouse. We have the guy that built the warehouse. He comes in when we're like, 3/4 of the way through?
Yeah.
And
it was still mostly framing. We hadn't done any of the painting or anything yet.
He comes in and he looks at it probably like 20, 30 seconds. And he goes, "That's some straight framing."
I've never been more proud of anything in my life to get complimented like that because I was the foreman of the project. So I take all credit. It was a lot of fun. No, it's good to be back into the swing of things. Coming up later in the show, we've got a lot of updates for the VFC diehards, for our super fans. So we'll talk more about that.
You can learn why I haven't been on the podcast.
Exactly. We'll get into all of that. But first thing we're going to do, and we're just going to talk about hopper strategies, different ways to fish these bugs that don't get discussed enough, don't get talked about enough. And like we always do here, we're going to illustrate all these lessons with a little story that we got going on. And to set the stage for y'all, it was, what month was it? Was it July?
Yeah, beginning of July.
Beginning of July, which hopper season's usually not quite on that early, but with the drought this year, everything's just been off.
It's like a month ahead of schedule.
It really is. It really is. So it was July. We were out in the middle of nowhere, and we had a 2-day little excursion set up to fish one river that Alex had never been on before. I'd floated it once like 10 years ago, so it was almost like the first time for me. And then the second day, we were going to go float a stretch of a river we fish all the time, but we've never fished. Neither of us have ever fished this part of that river before. And that was what was in store for us. We just wanted to go try some new stuff. And we didn't really know what to expect from a bug perspective, because again, with the drought this year, it's just been really weird with when hatches have happened. I don't think we even really we didn't get much of a caddis hatch this year, at least in this neck of the woods. I know other places did, but where we've been fishing, it really has been.
I have not seen very many caddis at all this year.
I haven't either. Yeah. It's just been off everywhere. So we didn't really know what to expect. And we get up there, and the first day, the first flow on the river that Alex had never been to went really well for like 2 hours. And then a little summer monsoon blew in.
Yeah, it was when I was rowing. Yeah. You guys were crushing it. And then as soon as Spencer got on the oars.
Well, I offered to let you, and Alex was like, no, I gotta get my workout in, you know? And which
for those new to the podcast, I'm learning how to row. So
he wants to get better.
I'm trying to get the reps in.
You did. You rowed me, and my buddy Gene was with us as well, and you rowed us both into a couple of fish. But that day went really well until the monsoon blew in and the yellow Sally stoneflies just shut off.
Emphasis on the blew in.
Yes, the boat was going back upriver. The wind was blowing so hard.
I let Gene take over rowing at that point.
And then he didn't let me row at all. I didn't row at all that day. So, but he's rowed with me enough. Maybe that's an indictment of my rowing skills. So he's like, I'm not letting Durant row. No way that's happening. Oh, but that next day we got up and we had choices. We'd go float that river that we'd never fished before, the stretch that we'd never fished, or we'd go back to the river that had been really good the day before. We caught a lot of fish before the storm blew in, and I wanted to do that. But Alex,
I love exploring, man. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. Is
I think your exact words, we got to camp that night, and your exact words were, because I said, hey, let's go back and float that stretch again, because it's not supposed to storm tomorrow. And Alex was like, well, I'm already bored with it. I don't want that toy's not new anymore. I don't want to play with it.
That is not what I said.
That's exactly. It was verbatim. I got a photographic memory.
In that tone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You were really grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must take after crew. Been learning from my son, my little toddler. Oh. When I don't get my way, I get a little grumpy.
Yeah. Well, he must have learned it from me then, because I'm the master of that. So, yeah, so we get up that next morning. We're fishing the stretch that we'd never hit before, and we didn't really know what to expect because we'd never fished a stretch of river before. We'd driven past it a lot. A lot, right? And we're always like, man, that looks so good. We should fish that sometime. Like, look at that bend. Dude, you're going to hit that sheep. I don't care. Look at that. I bet the fish is right there. It's that kind of spot. And, yeah, we decided let's do it.
We finally did it.
Finally get the boat out and float it. And I didn't know what to, like I said, we didn't know what to expect, especially from a bug perspective. So we started out, I think you threw, not an nymph rig, you threw a dry dropper rig to start, didn't you?
We had seen hoppers on the banks, like terrestrial season. It seemed like it was coming earlier this year. Like we said, it's a month ahead. So this was actually, speaking of Riley Bayless.
Yeah.
When we were fishing with him earlier this summer, he was stoked on the Amy's ant.
Yes, he was.
And
told us
it's a pattern.
That, quote, it's my favorite fly ever, I believe is what he said.
At
Photographic
least
memory
like
coming
foam. In. At least foam bugs, right? And it's a fly that I've used, but I wouldn't say it's a favorite. I always just go to a chubby Chernobyl. That's kind of my go-to terrestrial fly, right?
Comfort and what you know.
Yeah. And so he was, this is what he told me when we were fishing with him, was he really likes the Amy's ant because not a lot of people fish the Amy's ant. A lot of people fish the chubby Chernobyl because of the comfort.
Yep.
And so he feels like it's more subtle, it's more natural, it's something the fish don't see as often. And so that kind of inspired me. It was a week or two later, and I said, you know what? Let's tie on the Amy's ant.
Was that the first one you tied on?
Yeah, Amy's ant, dry dropper. And we were targeting the banks because with terrestrials on these big western rivers, usually you chuck them right up against the banks because if you think about a terrestrial, if you think about grasshoppers and beetles and ants, they are born on land, they live on land, and they get blown into the water, and that's how they become fish food. And so it makes sense that we're chucking hoppers, let's fish them close to the bank.
Yep.
But
the issue with that is get drought year, so the water's low. So there's not a whole lot of room on the banks, especially not for a dry dropper.
Very shallow. Our droppers kept getting caught. Like if we wanted to get it really close to the bank, our droppers just kept getting caught up. And then it was almost like the water, because it was so shallow next to the banks, it was really hard to get a good drift because there wasn't current pushing your flies at the same speed of the boat.
Because especially this section of the river, it was like a giant canal.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of bankside structure. There wasn't a lot of like big boulders. There weren't a lot of interesting currents right next to the bank. It was just kind of a straight shot. So we deviate from that a little bit. We start hitting the deeper runs that we could see. This places where we're like, okay, there's some depth to it.
Yeah, like 4, 5, 6 feet deep.
And I think you dredged up one whitefish, right?
I think you caught the first one, but yeah, it was
one of us. I can't remember who caught it, but we stuck a whitefish on, I think it was a blowtorch or something.
Some kind of nymph, classic whitefish.
Yeah, we were just trying to, all right, there's fish down there. We know, okay, they want this kind of water. But even then, we kept targeting the runs, and there just wasn't much happening. And
we were trying to be optimistic, right? We were like, maybe PMDs will come off, maybe some morning caddis, maybe some midges. And so what was funny is I actually had my dry dropper out there. I just chucked it out in the middle of the river just for kicks.
And he's not paying any attention.
I'm trying to look for risers, right? I'm looking downstream, maybe 50, 100 yards, just trying to will a rise into existence.
And I'm on the sticks.
And yeah, Spencer's rowing it. All of a sudden I hear, set. And without skipping a beat, I was so proud of this. Just boom, lifted the rod.
Yep.
Set the hook.
It was like a 17-inch brown.
Yeah. It was a nice fish. It was a super nice,
but
pretty,
it was out in the middle of the river and it just came up. And if you weren't watching his fly, you would have missed it completely because it was the most subtle sip that I think I've ever seen. Well, up until that point, it was the most subtle sip I'd ever seen on.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
On a terrestrial pattern, right? Because the Amy's ant is kind of a misnomer. It's a do-it-all terrestrial imitation. It's not just an ant. It could pass as an ant, pass as a hopper, anything kind of big and foamy. It'll work really well to imitate. And
it's like a stimulator and a chubby Chernobyl had a baby.
But
that's how I would describe it.
I hate stimulators. I'm gonna go on record. I hate those flies.
I do too.
Because they're such a pain to tie.
Oh, that's why.
That's why I hate them.
I can't see them.
I see them just fine. I just hate tying them. So
interesting.
You use so much freaking hair to tie those things.
Oh yeah, it's like
and then they get chewed up.
It's the trifecta, right? You've got elk hair, hackle, and peacock curl.
Yeah,
it's like
not a fan, and a crap ton of dubbing. So it's like, you remember the old humpies? You ever tie any of those?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, you use so much hair in a humpy. I love those stinking flies.
I try to avoid hard flies to tie just because
they're such a pain. Getting the hair posts to stick up right, it's such a pain. But anyways. So this, we're talking, it looked like it was sipping a size 43 trico. That's how its nose, just little pinprick on the surface, just barely comes up and eats it. And yeah, I yell set. Alex manages to not screw it up.
Fat.
Yeah. This thing,
chunky,
put me to shame. Like, I pride myself on being a tubby feller, and this brown trout was like, Durant, hold my Diet Coke. I got you. So let him go. And the problem with a random fish out in the middle is it doesn't tell you much because there was no structure. There was nothing about the water type that we caught it in that we're like, oh, let's just look for more of that, because that was the whole daggum river was the type of water that we just caught this fish in.
It was so random. It was like 3 to 4 feet deep.
Pretty swiftly moving because I wasn't really rowing. I was just keeping the boat straight at that point. I wasn't like
when
pushing
we say
downstream.
Middle of the river, it was the middle of the river.
It was at least 20 feet off the bank. And it was probably, 100-foot wide stretch of river there, if not bigger.
If not bigger.
It's big up there. So it's just not helpful because usually, you catch a fish like, okay, I caught it out of this type of water on this fly at this depth. You can start putting the pieces of that puzzle together. This is like they gave you the centerpiece of the puzzle and said, good luck. So really just helpful. And after that, it just went dead.
Yeah.
Alex catches that, just goes dead. The only interesting thing we saw for the next, 2-3 miles was a mama moose and her 2 babies.
Yeah, that was cool.
Frolicking, as moose will do. And then I think I was fishing. We come around this corner. And we started getting some interesting stuff on the banks. There were downed logs. There were little pockets. The current picked up. So there was actually features and habitat for the fish to hang out in.
Riffles.
And in this pocket behind a branch, there was a fish rising pretty consistently. And props to Alex because he rode right so that I could get a drift in there. And I threw Amy's ant because I just threw the same rig Alex had on. We're just swapping the rod out. And I plopped that down in there, and that fish comes up and freight trains that ant. Man, just hit that thing like it stole something from it. And I set too early and broke the fly right off the tip. It just snap.
It was a tragedy.
It was terribly sad. So, and that's when we found out we had like 2 Amy's ants left. After I broke that one off. Of course, we only had 2. We're not a fly fishing company, and we only have 2 of these flies left that are working today because that's how it rolls. So that was really fun. But we tied the other one on, so now we're down to one left. And we come around this big corner, and there's this big, long shelf, deep run, a lot of current to it finally. So you could actually pick places that fish might be holding. And we caught quite a few in that bit of the water.
Yeah, it might be helpful because unless it's summertime, you usually don't find fish in the type of water that you caught that really nice one right at the head of that shelf.
Yep.
Can you explain why fish will hang out in those shallow riffles during the summer? Because that's a water type that I feel like a lot of people just skip over because they're like, oh, it's so shallow, it's so fast, the fish isn't going to be in there.
And I didn't even see that fish till he ate. Yeah. And that was maybe like yay deep. Like,
well, I feel like that happens a lot of times during this time of year, especially on these western rivers where there's a lot of just hatches going on, is they move up into the riffles.
Because the riffles are the bug factory of the river, right? That's where you got the most oxygenated water, and living organisms need oxygen. That's why there's nothing alive in space unless you are a fellow moon landing faker enthusiast like me. We didn't make it. What?
This is not a conspiracy theory podcast.
It could be.
As much as you want it to be, it's not.
Bigfoot's real, by the way. Anyway, so there's all the oxygen there. So all the bug life's there, which means all the fish are going to be there as well.
And it's shallow enough that sunlight can get down to those rocks, into that oxygenated water. Grows the vegetation.
That the bugs feed on.
The bugs eat it. More bugs. That's why they call it the bug factory.
Yep. And then the moving water, unless it starts to get stupid hot, usually stays fairly cool too. So a lot of oxygen, and the water temps are right, which I believe that was 2 shows ago now, maybe 1 show ago. I can't remember. We talked about water temps, how important they are for fish, for trout especially. So it's just the perfect storm of conditions to catch fish out of these riffles. And yeah, we got to this shelf where it's nice shallow, and then just drops off abruptly into this deep bucket that turns into a big run. And right at the head of that riffle on that shelf, I just tossed that Amy's Ant up there. I think I even cut the nymphs off. I was just tossing.
At this point, it was single dry fly. Yeah.
And that fish, again, it was another subtle sip. Like, I don't know if brown trout, they're from Europe, and I can't remember if they actually are native to the UK. But I swear all these ones are British brown trout. Like, stiff up a lip and pinky out while I sip my tea and crumpets, because they were just they were so delicately eating anything that it was just like, why do you guys have manners? Come on, this is freaking the West. There's pronghorn over here. There's a grizzly bear over there. These moose were moosing. Like, I want to see some splashy eats, because that's what we fish terrestrials for, right?
We're not fishing mayflies.
No. I got 4X, not even 4X. I got 0X onto this Amy's Ant. Come on. Fishing a 6-weight. Let's go. Anyways, it just sipped it again. And that wasn't the fish of the day, but it was close. It was big.
I think that was the fish of the day.
It was like 18 inches.
Oh, maybe.
No, the fish of the day was the one that I lost.
Sorry. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, the fish of the day was the one that I lose later.
Yeah, but I was super surprised when that fish ate, because it was
middle of the riffles.
I mean, if you
6 inches deep.
For those watching the video podcast, it was like 6 inches deep. And it was this 17, 18 inch brown, really chunky, just sitting there.
Now, you would think 2 expert anglers such as ourselves. I mean, I have completed Wyoming's, what am I in Wyoming? A master angler, an ultimate angler. I've finished one of those. I can't remember. Alex is better at this than I am too. So, I mean, we're... to quote the philosopher Ricky Bobby, we wake up and piss excellence. Okay? That's really where we are in our fishing careers. So you would think that at this point, we would be able to put 2 and 2 together and realize, oh, okay, riffles we've caught, because that wasn't the only fish we caught out of that spot. All that moving water, riffles, broken water, shallow stuff. We caught what?
Single dry fly.
We caught
4 out of that stretch.
You would think that we would put that together, but no, we float on down from that stretch.
Well, and there was also another monsoon that rolled in.
Yeah, it started hailing on us, which was beautiful.
So we got to give ourselves a little break. All right. Because that came in out of nowhere, threw us for a loop.
But we still just went back to dredging the pools and the runs.
I know. I'm trying to give us a little.
No, we get no credit for it because we just we were in a brain neutral position for the next, it was like a 7 or 8 mile float.
Had to have been another 3 hours.
Yeah. So probably close to another 3 miles, just nothing. And that desperation set into the boat, that feeling of we're never going to catch another fish again. We suck. No one's ever going to take our YouTube videos seriously. We're going to have to learn how to AI fish into all of our videos now because we can't catch anything. It was at that level of just sadness and despair and despondency. And Alex is questioning, okay, is this the right partner for me to have in this endeavor? Do I need to go get Kevin Knack? Does he need to be the guy, right? Riley's a better angler than the Spencer guy. And then I'm rowing and I'm thinking, I can't even row because Alex isn't catching anything. And it's this spiral.
I think the snacks were running low.
Yeah, we were out of beef jerky. The Diet Coke was gone. All that was left was freaking Mountain Dew Zero, which gagged me with a spoon. And then I believe it was you. Finally, you're like, dude, snap that dropper off, because I was still fishing the Amy's Ant with the dropper, and we've been switching that rig off for hours, and Alex is finally like, just cut it off.
Yeah. So something that I think about when I'm having a tough time out on the river, when things are spiraling, is just going back to the fundamentals, right? And it's like, okay, hoppers.
Yep.
That's like, we've caught fish. The only thing we've caught fish on today, trout, because whitefish don't count.
No, whitefish count as double.
The only thing we've caught trout on today is the Amy's Ant.
Yep.
Okay.
And we hadn't seen any other hatches.
Nope.
And the only other fish that we had seen feeding were eating on those microscopic no-see-um bugs that they're rising in those big, nasty foam eddies where you can't tell what they're eating, right? But that was for like 5 minutes. We saw that happen for about 5 minutes, nowhere else on the river.
Yeah, the boat got within 100 yards and they stopped rising.
Yes.
Classic.
So there was no other bug activity that we could say, all right, let's go this route. We stuck with the ant because, yes, it was the only thing we'd caught fish on, but then everything else was telling us, okay, well, there's nothing else hatching and getting their attention, so a big terrestrial is as good a bet as any.
Yep.
Plus, it allows us to suspend different nymphs beneath it since it floats those nymphs well. So we could switch that out and try and see, okay, the caddis nymph's doing or the mayfly nymph's doing. So that's why we stuck with it. It wasn't just despondent stubbornness. There was a little bit to it.
Yeah, giving us some credit.
Yes,
right?
a tiny bit of credit. So we'd stuck with it, but you're thinking, okay, back to basics.
I mean, okay, hoppers, this is a proven fly today. Let's get it up against the banks. Because we were fishing the banks at the beginning, like we talked about, but we weren't getting it like an inch off the bank.
No.
Because we had that dropper on, right? And we listed out the problems before with that dropper drag hanging up. And so I was like, dude, cut off the dropper, get it an inch off the bank. Let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to the fundamentals. When we're hopper fishing, you get it as close to the bank as you possibly can. And we're going to fish a single dry fly, try to perfect our presentation with the fly that we know works.
So I unfurled this award-winning cast, right? Would have put Simon Gosworth to shame. It was so good. And Simon's great, right? I don't even know Simon. I just really appreciate his ability he's a great casting teacher. But anyways, I unfurled this beautiful cast, get it right next to the bank. And I think it was like that. But it wasn't a blow up, which again, you do suspect or expect with terrestrials to get the fish to just blow crap up.
Blowing up big foam bugs.
Yep. No, it was another one of those dainty sips. And this fish just comes up just like, when you give your kid I gave Ruth, my daughter, she's 15 months old now. I gave her, I came home from Wings one night and I still had my Diet Coke with me. She wanted some. And that very first sip where they just barely sipping up into their mouth to get it. And then she's like, oh, this is great. And just starts chugging it. But it's that first little sip where they're a little nervous. This is exactly what these fish were doing. I'm just going to barely touch it. But then you'd set the hook and you had to time the hook set because they'd come up. And it wasn't like they were even breaking the surface. It was like they were underneath the fly and they would just open their mouth and that little whirlpool would just suck it in. It's like the only thing that you would see break the surface was barely their nose. And even then, like if you weren't paying attention, it was almost like, you know, when you're fishing these big foam bugs, sometimes they'll go through a couple of rapids, they'll get swamped.
Yep.
It was almost like that.
Exactly like
and
that.
So you're expecting it to just pop up again, and then it doesn't. And then you realize, oh no, I just missed another fish because they were that subtle with it. But it was inch off the bank, really shallow, and broken fast water in those riffles. And that was the ticket. And as soon as we started doing that, it was almost nonstop action to the takeout.
Yeah, it was so fun. The river would braid, and it was funny how we went from spiraling to being so confident in a matter of like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Be like, bro, get me to that bank. Get me to that bank. I know it's going to work.
There's structure. There's riffles.
Yep.
There's a log in the water. Like there's going to be a fish right there. And as soon as we chuck an Amy's ant right there, boom, the fish would hit it.
And there was one real big one too. Alex didn't even see this one because it was more in front of the boat when it took. But I was fishing our bug bomber, our new 6-weight, and it put a bend in that rod that I hadn't felt yet that day. I don't know if it was any longer than anything we'd caught, but it certainly had more heft to it. And it spat the hook after a minute, which was tragedy.
Another tragedy.
Yeah, it was.
A day of tragedies.
It really kind of was. But other than that big one, we both got quite a few really nice, like 15 to 16 inch browns.
They were all 15 to 18 and just chunky. They weren't very long, but they had some girth.
They did. They're little piglets out there just pigging around. So that's our story. And we're sticking to it, not changing it.
Well, we got to the boat ramp and then we got absolutely annihilated by mosquitoes.
I was trying to forget that part because it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mosquitoes were so bad that night. It was one of the worst mosquito days I've ever had.
It was kind of funny because I actually went back and fished this section a couple weeks later because it was that good.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you weren't bored of it?
No.
But you're bored now because I wanted to go back up there and you're like, it's all the same.
Yeah, I'd want to fish a different section now.
You can never win with this guy.
I think 2 times is plenty.
Okay. Yeah. We're only going to fish every river twice.
But anyways, I was with Berkeley and one of our new friends, Will. He's helping us design the vise.
Which more info soon to come, so stay tuned.
But we were floating and we got to the boat ramp, got absolutely annihilated by mosquitoes again. And it was one of those where you pull the boat up, you chuck the anchor on the bank and you run to the truck and you just haul out of there to go shuttle. And we were up on top of the hill. We parked and some guy that had decided he was going to try and camp down by the boat ramp.
Oof.
He comes ripping up and he stops, roll down the window. He's like, did you guys donate some blood back there?
Yeah, a few pints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was funny.
So let's wrap up with the lessons so folks can get something useful other than being entertained wildly by our great storytelling skills.
Yeah. Well, little things that you can take out the next time you're fishing hoppers.
The stuff that, again, I don't think gets talked about enough because a lot of the hopper fishing, we joke about it a little bit, but you see a lot of the stuff, especially on Instagram, any of the YouTube videos, it's fish blowing these bugs up, hitting them.
Really easy.
Yeah. Big fish all the time, always. It's kind of the thing with hoppers. And that can be true sometimes, but some of the more nuanced skills that you need to really get them to perform don't usually get talked about. And the first one is just you got to get tight to the bank. And that's talked about, but it's not given enough context sometimes. And when we say tight to the bank, we mean get it, like if you can land it on the bank and then pull it off. So it's like, yay, like hold your fingers almost touching. You like if you can get that close and there's depth right there. Ooh,
sometimes the best casts are when you land it on the bank, the wiggle, and it drops off of the grass into the water like a real grasshopper.
Yeah. It's almost like you're imitating real life.
Like put your flies in front of fish and make them look real.
You know, some real smart, real good looking guy said that once. we might need to put that on a shirt. But that's your first one. Okay. Number 1, get tight to the bank. Number 2, you got to make sure that you're fishing near the branches and near the overhangs. Because like Alex just talked about, the real hoppers are clinging to that stuff because they're eating the grasses and whatnot. And the wind comes up and they get blown in the river. Okay. They're on those branches, those overhangs. Fish are going to be expecting terrestrials to land in the water there. So the closer you can get your flies into dangerous territory, because you might lose a few. That's why you fish not quite 0x, but honestly fish like 2 or 3 at least.
That's why you bring more than 4 Amy's ants.
Also, yes. That's why we have them in 3-packs so that you can get like 12 and be set, just ready to go. But getting tight to that structure, tight to the bank, and then near that stuff, that's really going to make a difference than if you just throw that hopper out in the middle of the river. Because yes, fish will take them in the middle of the river, but not near as consistent as they will near structure where those bugs can fall.
And another reason for that is fish like the structure because it provides safety for them.
Yes.
This river that we were fishing, we saw how many bald eagles that day? It was like 3 or 4.
Yeah, quite a few.
And then
baldies are known to eat a fish. Moose eat fish as well. I bet you didn't know that. There's a little untangled top tip for you. So what? You tell me moose don't eat fish? You tell me I'm wrong about my... Don't question science, Alex. If there's anything we learned in the last 5 years, it's to not question science
we
ever.
Might need to have a trout biologist on the podcast.
The next lesson, and this wasn't specifically this trip, but I wanted to bring it up anyway. It's always something I want to talk about with hopper fishing, is you don't need a dead drift with them. Because they're not a mayfly, they're not a mids, they're not just chilling on the water. They get in the water, they want to get out. It's like that one time my mother-in-law tried to take me to Weight Watchers, right? She brings me in there promising me it's an ice cream joint, just a Baskin Robbins redecorated. No, walks in there and there's people like, yeah, we know you have a problem and we'd like to help you. Here's this point system for how much you can eat. I'm like, no, get me out of here. I want out. Okay, that's how that hopper feels. It wants to get out. It's in a bad place. People are trying to change its lifestyle. It wants out of the water. That's what the hopper wants. So it's not just sitting there like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take it. Yeah, okay. All right, I'll take your propaganda that sugar is bad and that weight hurts your joints and that you're not healthy, all that crap. I'll just take that propaganda and I'll just live with it. That's not what the hoppers are doing. The hoppers want out. They want back to the real world where wings, Diet Coke, Doritos, that's the sustenance of life, okay? So they're trying to scamper as much as they possibly can.
I'm never going to look at a hopper in the water the same ever again.
They're stuck in Weight Watchers.
I'm just going to look at it twitching and it's going to be like, help me.
Well, that's what they're doing. They want out. So if you give your hoppers some lifelike twitch, a little bit, adding drag on purpose, make it look like they're trying to escape, that's really going to seal the deal, especially if the fish have been caught a lot, you're on a highly pressured river, or the water is really clear.
Something interesting. So the trip we went on, fished that stretch.
Yes.
Twitching. We tried it a couple times, didn't really do anything. When I went back the next week with Berkeley and Will, we actually were twitching the hoppers a little bit and the fish were hitting them because of the twitches.
So there you go. So sometimes it's even day to day.
Sometimes it is day to day.
So that's number 3. Number 4, fish are going to sip them like mayflies sometimes. They're not always going to blow them up. One of our favorite rivers to fish, they don't do it there either. They just sip them all like mayflies. So you got to be ready for the fish to react almost any different way to these bugs.
And I think that's why fishing flies like a chubby Chernobyl, it's helpful because you can see them so well that you can, like, as soon as it goes underwater, you can tell. Flies like Amy's ants, stimulators, bionic ants, things like that. It's a little tougher, but sometimes those subtle flies, you need them.
Agreed.
Like Riley said, sometimes those fish get used to the chubby Chernobyls.
Sometimes they do.
And then the last one, is feeding in broken water and riffles.
Yes.
We've talked about, I feel like we covered this.
Yep. Just wanted to really make sure it was brought out. Like, don't overlook the water that you don't think has a fish in it, especially when terrestrials are on the menu, because a lot of times it will end up having fish in it.
Agreed.
Well, Alex, I think we have sufficiently covered literally everything to know about hoppers. There is not anything else about fly fishing with terrestrial patterns that we could possibly talk on. We have exhausted every bit of knowledge on the subject.
And if we haven't, you can leave a comment and ask your questions.
No one's going to have any questions. I don't know what you're talking about. They know everything now.
No, that was a pretty good base.
I think it should be good. And if you do have questions, definitely please drop them. But I got a question for you now.
Yeah.
So you haven't been on the show very much. Our friendship has suffered a little bit. We haven't had a lot of FaceTime. You know, there's this growing chasm in VFC. No, none of that happened. Alex has been really busy. But seriously, with you having not been on the show lately, are there any other stories, any other little nuggets that you want to drop on the people? Because we've got, I mean, we're what, an hour into this? We've got 8-9 hours left before we wrap up. So you can go for as long as you want.
I mean, my favorite fish and the best story I have this summer, I mean, I could share it, but you might not want me to.
Why?
I got a new PB, a new personal best.
Thank you. I was just about to say, for those who don't know, we're not talking about peanut butter. Okay. We're talking about personal best. The new personal best brown trout. Is this one of those like Alex personal bests, or was it legitimately?
What is that supposed to mean?
You know how
I'm going to take some serious offense to this. You better be careful.
This is why there's that chasm in VFC that I was telling you guys about. You know how sometimes I ask you to look for something and you can't find it because you don't look hard enough?
That's not a thing.
That's 100% a thing.
When?
Literally all the time. Like, hey, where's this footage? You're like, I don't know. And then it's just not there.
Is that a me problem or
no? It's 100% a you problem, because you've told me before. This has been a consistent problem. Alex is a kid.
I did not think we were going to go here.
So I just worry with your, you don't always.
I had people with me. Does that help?
Was a measuring tape used to verify this fish?
Yes.
Okay, where's that measuring tape?
On Aiden's net.
Okay, well, did you take a picture of this fish measured?
Dude, I don't need to do that.
Yes, you do. If you want me to believe it was a PB, I need to see measurements. I need to see proof. Because you also have this habit of telling me that, bro, the creek fish so good today, and then we go the next day and it sucks.
That is you.
No, it's not.
This is
no, that creek, the one down here that I'm talking about.
I mean, it's great
where
for
you
me.
filmed Bug Mania, our most recent How We Fish video that just dropped.
I mean, the fishing was great, right?
Okay, every time you and I have gone there, what has happened, Alex?
You don't catch fish because you're not good enough.
All right, so you got this new PB.
So we have this running riff because Spencer hasn't caught a brown trout over 24 inches.
Have not.
Has not broke the 2-foot brown trout mark.
But you haven't caught a cutthroat over what?
Well, we're not talking about that right now.
No. We're definitely talking about that right now. What's your cutthroat PB?
It's like 20. It's not as big.
I've notched one at 26 and 28.
Okay, this isn't about you. This is about me.
Well, it's about me now.
You asked me to share my stories.
I know, and now I'm regretting it. This is whose name is on the show?
Ventures Fly Co?
Yeah, and who is Ventures Fly Co?
Holy cow. This guy needs an ego check. So anyways, I'm out fishing. I was with Kevin, which is, he's a really cool guy in our school group. If you want to join that, it's our online community.
Does he have a last name?
Kevin Knack.
Kevin Knack. Good old Kevin Knack. Yep. Yeah.
Awesome guy. Got out and fished with him, and then Aiden, our shop manager here at VFC.
Pit crew chief, I believe is his official title.
Shop manager. I just feel like people are going to think we're a racing company if we just say that.
You're right.
Like,
we don't have an F1 team yet.
So anyways, I'm out fishing with them, and we floated. We got done. We had a couple hours left of daylight, and I had been inspired a few months before by one of your good friends, Ryan McCullough. First time I ever fished with him. He's like a dry fly master.
He is.
And I had heard the stories about Ryan, how good of an angler he was, but this was the first time I had ever fished with him. And I was absolutely blown away when we show up and me and you, we tie on our dry droppers and we start fishing. And he just sat there for 2 hours?
Yeah.
And just watched the river.
Because he didn't want to cast until he saw consistently rising fish.
And so that inspired me.
Uh-huh.
So I was with Kevin and Aiden, and I just sat on the bank while they were sitting there cranking on some whitefish.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were crushing whitefish, but I was like, I don't want to catch those.
We're all aware of that.
I want to catch a trout, and I want to catch it on a dry fly because I've been trying to improve my dry fly fishing. So
it's been abysmal.
How many shots fired are we going to have today?
I just still don't believe this PB, but we'll see.
So I just sat down, pulled up a rock, and I hung out for like an hour and a half. I did tie on my leader. I did a little 4X to 5X to 6X.
Did you go to 7?
I did not. I don't even own 7.
That's we got to fix that.
Yeah. I actually don't even know if I went down to 6X. I might have been lying there. I feel embarrassed now.
All right, so now we can question the veracity of this PB story.
So 5X, and I just sat there with the leader in one hand, my fly rod in the other, just sitting on the bank, just watching. And the sun's going down. Kevin and Aiden, again, they're over across the river. They're catching whitefish. And there was some sporadic rises, but there wasn't really anything consistent. I had seen a bunch of caddis come to the water, and you know how they bounce, and then sometimes they sit on the water and they like zoom across it, like they're riding a jet ski almost. So I saw a lot of that going on. And again, just sporadic. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see this big nose just come up a foot off the bank, probably 30 yards upstream. And I turned my head, and then I saw it rise again. And I ran over there as fast as I possibly could, threw one cast right where he rose, and just comes up, crushes it. I tied on a caddis.
Mm-hmm.
Ate the caddis, fought him for like 2 or 3 minutes. Aiden and Kevin come running over across the bridge, come down, and we landed a 25-inch brown trout.
So you expect me to believe the 25-inch brown trout, which are primarily piscivorous, which means they eat other fish, ate a what, size 16 caddis?
Caddis.
So why would I believe that?
Because it was magical.
So this fish right here, this is a 21-inch brown trout. So you're telling me that fish was what, that big?
I mean, do you have a measuring tape?
I will go get one right now. It's in the other room.
It was 25 inches.
I've seen the pictures. I don't know if it doesn't look like a 25-inch fish to me.
Do I need to like put it on the screen on the podcast and have people comment?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
All right.
Is this a 25-inch brown trout?
Okay.
Okay.
Put it up on the screen right now. No. Everybody vote. Is this a 25-inch brown trout?
Now, size stuff aside, this is an awesome story, and I'm very happy for you because it is a great fish. It is. I'm not.
I don't feel it.
I'm not knocking the fish.
It just doesn't feel as good, you know? It's like... did
I like take your light from you or something?
No,
Yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Everyone else was stoked for me.
I am stoked that it was a great fish. I just don't think it was 25 inches.
Yes, it was.
And it makes it even better you didn't catch it on a nymph.
I didn't.
If you caught it on a nymph...
Which I'm so happy about, right? Because
all kidding aside, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have been trying to work on my dry fly fishing, and that was such an amazing experience for me because of what I learned from Ryan, who I would consider a fantastic angler, and just he didn't even like tell me, hey, yeah, I'm sitting here watching for fish. It was like, I just observed him doing that. And it was a lesson that I learned, that I took and I applied. And I caught my new personal best brown trout on a dry fly because of it. And it was a very subtle lesson.
And I think that's something that a lot of new anglers overlook, is the value of just watching other people fish. I used to do that all the time. I talked about my buddy Mysis Mike. Ryan, I did that with Ryan all the time. A lot of the guys that I used to fish with a lot, I would just sit and watch them for good chunks of time, because you can learn a lot from doing it if you're willing to just sit there and watch. I don't know why I exactly was, but it was really helpful to do that. So all kidding aside, it was a great fish and a great story and a great experience. I'm glad you had that.
Have you had any good experiences lately?
No, because currently living with my in-laws. So there's just this dark cloud over my life at the moment.
Spencer is moving to a new magical place.
I am.
In Wyoming.
Well, no, don't tell them that. Now they know.
Where else would it be? There's no other I mean, if it's a magical place, it has to be in Wyoming.
Montana? Maybe I'm moving to Montana. Maybe I'm moving to Idaho.
You're not highbrow enough for Montana.
That's true. I'm not.
Idaho.
My cowboy boots are
You're
real,
not nice enough for Idaho.
That's true. That is very true. Idaho.
You fit in Wyoming.
I kind of do. Yeah, a little bit of, hey, stay away from me. Yeah. That's why we were talking about this the other day. Alex got recognized at dinner. And he gets recognized in the wild more than I do. Like, people ask him for his autograph all the time. He's signed babies, even a pregnant woman's belly, like, good luck, all that sort of stuff, right? And I don't get recognized as much. I think it's because I look mean, and you look way more inviting than I do.
I got to work on that.
That's the one thing you want to learn from me is, how do I get this aura of don't talk to me? No, kidding aside, I have not fished very much this summer just because of everything and the madness with moving and building a new house and whatnot. But I did get out with our good buddy Ryan Kelly. He was on the show earlier this year.
Green River Fly Fisher.
Yep,
for those
Green River Fly Fisher on Instagram. And unfortunately, Ryan's wife Amber, and I've known Ryan and Amber for a very long time. Some of my oldest friends. Unfortunately, Amber's got cancer and is not looking good at all, and they need some extra help. So if you are so inclined, you want to help them out. They've been just some of the most amazing people to me. Ryan gave me a PhD in a lot of fly fishing stuff. I would not be the angler I am today without Ryan. And Amber, his wife, she's just, I was telling Ryan this the other day. I was like, everybody knows Ryan, but everybody loves Amber.
Yeah.
It's really how it is.
What's crazy is, so Amber she'll shuttle us when we go fish with Ryan, right?
Yep.
And one of the very first times I ever met her in the truck, I'm like, so what do you do for fun? She's like, I really like to volunteer and just do like service projects.
Yep.
And I was like, man, I'm a terrible person. I like to golf and fish.
Yeah,
like,
that's just who Amber
so
is.
Nice.
Yeah, she's one of the greatest ladies that I've ever met. So if you feel so inclined, we'll throw a link to the GoFundMe down in the show notes, or I'll put a link to it up here on the screen as well. If you're so inclined to help them out, they could definitely use it.
Because you got to go fish with Ryan, yeah?
Yeah, I fished with him last week. We just went and shot a little bit of content and fished together, and that was the first time we have wade fished together in forever. We used to go all the time in the summers when the green gets just hammered with people. We would go up on all the little creeks around the Flaming Gorge area. So there's a lot of really good creek fishing up there, and we do that all the time. But with moving and work and everything lately, we just haven't fished in the summers together. It's usually the winters that we fish together now. You can't get to the creeks in the winter because there's snow everywhere. So it was nice to kind of have a throwback to the OG days when we used to just tromp around and look for fish and play. So it was a really good time. Nothing really memorable to write about. It was just a little creek fishing, but it was just a good time with good buddies. Sometimes it's all you need. So,
yeah.
Any other stories you want to bring up?
No.
All right. I think that means it is time for the Q&A portion of this week's episode. And like we do when Alex is on the show, we take questions directly from people in our school group. And we talked about this earlier. It's our free online group that we run. So if you want the opportunity to ask questions for these episodes when Alex is on, if you want the opportunity to DM us, to talk to us, to get updates, first dibs on products, all that sort of stuff, it's all in our school group. It's free. There's a link to join that down in the show notes. And we will just start right off with our first question today from Eric, who writes in and says, when will we get back to fly tying night?
So, Eric, it's a great question. And I wish we had an answer for you, but...
And I have been banned from answering this question, just why Alex is taking it.
Spencer gets a little heated sometimes.
A little worked up.
So we've been having some issues trying to get Wi-Fi at the warehouse. I think we have a short-term solution.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Just so everybody has some context, we, inside of our school group, we have a monthly fly tying night where we just
tie flies.
It's a live stream.
Chat.
We just chat. We hang out. It's like a fly tying night at a fly shop, but it's online for people who can't get to a fly shop.
You get to hear live, unfiltered rants from me. So that's a big draw.
Don't tell them that. That might push them away.
You're right. It might.
So yeah, we do a fly tying night every month. And then we also do another live stream every month that's called our deep dive, where we pick one topic and we go super deep on it. You get to ask questions live about that topic. It's a lot of fun. It's actually one of my favorite things that we get to do here at VFC is just get to interact with people, and we joke around a lot.
Yep.
Spencer, again, he gets a little wild sometimes.
I do. I get wound up. We are kicking around the idea of doing one of these lives from my favorite wing joint. So, if you're in the Utah area, we might be able to make that happen. But details will be posted on school if we decide to do that. So, but yeah, that's the short of it. We just don't have the Wi-Fi at the moment because apparently it's really hard to flip a switch and turn it on because that's literally what we're waiting on. And all we know is sometime this fall.
Yeah. So
really helpful.
I think we have found a short to medium long-term solution. I hope so. I think we might be able to have a fly tying night at the end of this month, at the end of August. And then I'm hoping deep dives start again in September. But again,
yes,
in the school group, we will let you know. It'll be on the calendar. So.
All right. Second question comes from Josh Torgerson.
And I'm going to ask this because I want you to answer.
Oh, great. All right. Well, it's a 3-fer.
You're the most proper.
Oh, my goodness.
You seem to have the most etiquette around here. So what are the biggest etiquette mistakes you see newer anglers make on crowded rivers? What are the biggest unwritten etiquette rules that a newer fly angler should know when fishing a crowded river?
You're not going to read his other two questions?
Oh, well, let's answer this one first.
Oh, all right. Number one thing you do is just high-holing people without knowing what you're doing. And what that means is you get to a run and some guys at the bottom of it fishing and you go to the top of it. Usually you don't want to do that, right? You want to let that person, if they're working a run, if they're working a riffle, they're working a pool, usually you just let them have it. Some rivers, it is considered okay to do that. Terrible fisheries. They're not terrible fisheries, but the experience is terrible for me because I don't want to be that close to other people when I'm fishing if I don't have to be. But no, probably 95% of places I would say that's extremely frowned upon to high hole somebody. So if someone's working a stretch of river, you just go to the next stretch. Give them my rule of thumb is bare minimum 100 yards. So give them a football field at least. I like to try and get as far away from them as I can. But at least football field. I think if you're 100 yards from somebody, I don't think unless they're really having a bad day or they got to stick up their butt, they're not going to throw a fit over that. And if they do, that's honestly,
it's probably unwarranted.
Yeah, it's probably more of a them thing than a you thing. So just giving people enough space is the number one issue. And then if it's another river where you can't really walk up the banks to get to other stretches. And you want to walk up around somebody to get to another stretch, always walk behind them, always say, hey, can I get behind you? And then if you are going to do that and walk behind them, stay as far and close to the bank as you can. And then again, give them as much room as you can before you walk out into the water, potentially spook fish.
And try to stay low, like stay slow.
Yep.
I've had some experiences where somebody tries to pass me and they just tromp right through the hole.
Yep.
That's been a bad experience.
It's a little frustrating.
I would say the number one thing is just communication.
Yep. And if you're not sure, ask, because 99% of the people out there are like, oh yeah, go right over there. I don't care. The 1% are going to be jerks because that's just life. 1% just kind of suck. But everybody else is going to be friendly enough, even if they're not like, yeah, come fish right next to me. They'll be friendly enough. They're going to appreciate that you said, hey, I'm kind of new to this. Can I get around you? Like, what do I do? Don't feel this is not a negative thing, but it's also going to be obvious that you're new. Usually a lot of the time. So they're going to be able to tell. And then you just saying that like, hey, I'm new to this. Like they already usually are already going to be able to tell, but it's not a bad thing. So don't be afraid of admitting that, then ask for some help. Yeah.
I also like to ask people if they're working up or down river.
Yep. That's another good one.
If somebody's working upriver, you need to probably book it past them a lot further than if they were fishing downriver.
Yep.
So, and then Josh also asked a couple other questions. Are we going to allow a threefer?
I think we have to.
Okay. What's the best way to determine the depth of water in a section of river? Is that like walking up to the river and being like,
trying to see how deep it is? That's just a trial and error thing, I think.
Yeah.
Something you get used to the more you do it. Most rivers are shallower than you would expect. I think it's very rare to find a river that's more than 6 feet deep that you're trout fishing and wade fishing.
Unless it's a really big river.
Even then, it's...
Yeah, that's true.
That you think 6 feet, it's deep.
I'm thinking like, I guess, famous tailwaters. There's a lot of really deep holes, but if we're talking medium-sized rivers, yeah.
So that's just something that takes time. I always, if I'm going to nymph it or whatever, I always just default to about 7 feet between my indicator and first fly, and then I go from there.
Yeah.
So that's usually how you're going to be able to start learning to guesstimate it, is just based off of whatever your usual setup is.
I also think polarized sunglasses are very helpful.
Yep.
Cuts the glare on the water. You can, if it's darker in color, it's deeper. If it's lighter in color, it's shallower.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
And then 3, when nymphing, how do I know whether a tick on my line was a fish, the bottom, or my fly getting hung up?
You set that hook. That's how you know. Eventually, you might be able to tell the difference, but you won't always be 100% certain. So set the hook if you're in doubt.
Yeah, when in doubt, set the hook.
Exactly.
If you're fishing, I would say the only caveat to that is if you're fishing water where it's slower moving and the fish are a little spooky, setting that hook every single time is probably going to spook the fish.
Yep.
So,
but if you're fishing slow water like that, you can usually see the fish a bit more too.
Yeah.
So,
and the indicator going under is usually a
the
fish.
Dead giveaway,
right?
Yes. Yes.
It's either the bottom or fish. So you're either going to get hung up or catch one.
Exactly. All right. Next one. This is for you, Alex. From Kaylin Hughes. Can you talk more about knots and which ones are easier or better for certain rigs? I use the clinch/improved clinch all the time just because that's what I've used all my life for fishing. But are other knots better in terms of affecting fly presentation? Our friendship almost ended over this. And I don't think that's an exaggeration.
I think it's an exaggeration. It's going to take a lot more than that than talking about freaking fishing knots.
Right. No, but we did get into a very heated, I'm going to call it an argument.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it an argument. We were out fishing.
Disagreement.
We were fishing for some big brook trout earlier this year. And
on a lake.
I always fish non-slip loop knots on my nymphs when I'm fishing a lake. The idea being that little loop knot allows the fly to move and wiggle a bit more realistically in the calmer water of the lake, because with that clinch knot, it doesn't really move very freely. Okay, so you don't get a lot of that more lifelike movement to it. That is the only time I deviate from the clinch knot ever, is when I'm fishing nymphs on a lake. And if memory serves, I was having a good day. Alex was struggling a little bit.
I wasn't catching as many fish as you, yes.
What was the difference between our rigs? The only difference?
That was not the only difference.
Yes, it was.
I was using different flies.
We were using the same
No, we
flies.
were not.
Yes, we were.
You were using your red chironomid. I did not have a red chironomid.
So you were
on.
using another chironomid, though.
Where's your photographic memory when we need it?
It's right here, because you were using the same rigs.
I was not using the same flies. Do you see why I'm getting fired up about this?
Was it a chironomid?
I was using a black one.
Yeah, so it's the same fly.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
Not in a lake. If you're telling me that fish can tell the difference between a loop knot and a clinch knot,
yeah, but
you have to tell me that they're telling the difference between a black chironomid and a red chironomid. They tell the
difference between the knot. It's that they tell the difference between the action of that fly. And the only difference in our rigs was the knots.
I use tags. You don't use tags. There's a difference. Interesting.
Yeah, but you don't use loop knots, and it still didn't work for you.
Okay, let's talk about all the other times that we fish lakes together.
Yes.
Okay.
And every time I use loop knot. No.
Yes, I have.
No.
Oh my. Do we need to go back? Okay. Rewind to the Stillwater video that we have.
Yes.
Who won the fishing competition?
You, but only because I got tangled. If I hadn't been tangled, I would have cleaned house.
It's probably because you had a loop knot on.
Loop knots make a difference. If loop knots didn't matter, then why do tarpon anglers use them?
That's a completely different.
It is not.
I bet there's tarpon anglers that don't use a loop knot.
Not to my knowledge. It's universal. They want a loop knot.
Okay, well,
every tarpon angler on earth has always used a loop knot.
You're also using foot-long flies, so
no, you're not.
Oh,
the tarpon flies we're using were this big.
All right, big streamer. That might make a difference, but these, I don't know.
You don't think on a size 12 chironomid it matters? A little extra bouncy bounce. Trust me, it matters.
We're going to have to do some kind of experiment, but
we're going to have to get tough. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to rig up chironomid on a clinch knot, chironomid on a loop knot. We're going to stick it in one of those glass aquariums, and we're going to get the macro lens out, and we're going to bob those up and down. And when you see how much more realistic...
No, I don't doubt that it looks more realistic.
And
I just don't think it makes that big...
If you're not watching, you didn't see Alex's look of just, I hate this guy.
I just love that it's like the one time that you were out fishing me, it's because of the
okay, it's not the one time.
How about all the times we've gone to that place 5 or 6 hours that way?
Yes. I use loop knots there every time.
And I have outfished you every single time we have fished there.
That's because you're a better angler than I am.
Yeah, it's not.
But yeah, because I use clinch
knots. Yeah.
But who, hey, that little place we're talking about, who is the only one to have landed a giant fish out of that pond? If you'd used a loop knot, you wouldn't have lost that tiger trout.
Dude, don't talk about that. And it was a... Oh, I had forgotten about that till this very moment.
Had not.
I mean, it comes back every once in a while.
I know. You wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night.
It's like
30-inch tiger trout.
It was a rainbow. It was definitely the biggest rainbow I've ever hooked into in my entire life. Like we're talking. Well, the thing is now it's like, did you have a measuring tape? It's like. Now everything I say,
no.
I'm going to say it was like a 28-inch rainbow, but it was that thick. It was like
it looked like it was eaten
so big. It was
footballs.
Huge.
Yeah, it was insane.
Wrap me up on a moss ball.
Yeah, that was a rough.
Anyways,
back to Caitlin's question. I
don't think it matters.
I think it matters a little bit. I think it matters a little bit.
It could.
Yeah.
I'll say that. It could matter.
Well, I know what our next video is going to be now. We're going to scientifically break this down.
So boring.
Dude, people are going to eat that up. Let us know in the comments.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do a knot video. That sounds so lame.
Loop versus clinch. Which catches more fish?
I don't want to do that.
Because you know you're going to be proven wrong.
That's not why.
I think it matters. Alex doesn't. And guess what? The only thing that matters is what you think, Kaylin. So try it all out, figure it, and then go that way. Because as you can clearly see, you can still outfish somebody who is using the correct knot. You can still do that, okay? Even if you're incorrectly doing things. Because as we all know, fly fishing is a sport of rights and wrongs. And yes, you can still have success when you're doing things wrongly. I say that all the time, right?
Yeah. There are no rules in fly fishing.
Exactly.
There are principles that if you follow, you're more likely to catch a fish.
Yep,
but
like
sometimes
giving your flies as much animation and movement in the water as possible to make them look like the real thing. Appreciate you asking that question, Caitlin. It was great. Great discussion. All right, our next one comes from Brent Ellenberg. VFC Vice. I'd love to buy a new pedestal vise from VFC. Can't wait.
This is probably the thing we get asked about the most right now.
Other than where does Spencer get his beard care products from? Yes.
Mm-hmm. So we have been working on our Flysmith vise we're probably pushing 3 years.
I think it's a little over 3, to be honest, because I was still living in my old house when we started.
Yeah. So a little over 3 years, but it's going to be worth the wait. We are really close. So why it's taken so long? Built it from the ground up.
It is not like any vise currently on the market. It's got some pretty unique features to it.
Some unique features. It looks quite different.
Yes.
It's built from the ground up. So we have 2 team members here at VFC, Berkeley and Devin. They've been doing a machining program to learn how to run CNC machines.
Yep.
We've been doing a lot of 3D printing. We've been working with Will. He's one of our, he's an engineer that we've been working with to help us design it. A lot's been going into it, and we are really, really close.
So close.
Except for it doesn't hold a hook.
No, it holds most hooks, but the issue right now is the really small hooks, it bends them out, and the really big hooks slip out. But Berkeley is like 99% sure on how to fix it, and playing around with the prototype that's sitting over there.
Basically, everything is finalized except the jaws.
Yes.
And Berkeley actually he made 10 sets of jaws, and he's going to be prototyping the jaws next week. He's going to go in and just start cutting them all and making different design tweaks to them. And we're going to figure that out. And then once we have the jaws figured out, we will start production and
get them ready for you guys.
Get them ready. So that's what's happening with the vise, a little behind the scenes. It has been a long project in the works for a while, but I think the wait is going to be worth it.
I would agree with that. It's going to be fun, especially all the plastic parts on it.
Yeah, that's so funny. So some of the parts, they're anodized aluminum. Is it? No.
Aluminum, yeah.
Anodized aluminum.
Yeah.
Spencer thought they were plastic.
Well, from the look, they were so shiny.
Yeah, they were so shiny, right? Like when you touch them, it's clear that it's aluminum.
Yeah, I hadn't touched it yet. I was like, oh, why is there plastic on our vise?
Berkeley was so offended by
He got
it. It was
fired
hilarious.
up.
He's like, you think this is plastic?
Yeah, it was pretty great. So why don't you dive into a few more of the product stuff while someone brought this up, because we've been getting a lot of questions about it. Let's just dive into more of it.
Just dive into more. So got the vise in the works, 3 packs.
Yes.
We actually got a really angry email in the other day because our 3 packs have been out of stock so much. They're like, you're going to lose customers. You're going to go out of business. And it's like,
I think being out of stock is the opposite.
He said you need to, he's like, you need to figure out your inventory. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right.
Well, the problem is everybody's bought the inventory.
So the reason I haven't been on the podcast in a while is we have our content, we have the media side of VFC, right? We also have the product side of VFC. And we just moved into a new warehouse, new studio, all of that. So that's taken up a ton of time.
Yep.
And then we've also been getting the other, so we have the media side of the warehouse and we have the product side of the warehouse. And we've been switching over to a new inventory management system, getting everything just dialed. And for the very reason of we're trying to make sure that we're ordering things and making things and producing things and assembling things and kitting things in the right amount of time so that we can keep things in stock.
Yes.
So
we're trying to not make it happen, but.
So that was a long way of saying 3 packs. They went back in stock last night as of recording this. If you go onto our site and things are out of stock, you can hit the little notify me when back in stock and it'll send you an email. So those 3 packs, they come in and out of stock when we get new batches of flies tied up.
Wonderful. Probably talk about fly rods, huh?
You talk about this one.
So we got 3 new fly rods that we just launched. Our riser, which is 8.5 foot 4 weight, designed for dry fly fishing. Our Fly Flinger Pro, which is your grown-up, all-around, do-it-all trout rod, 9 foot 5 weight. And then the Bug Bomber, which are 9 foot 6 weight for bigger rigs, streamers, sink tips, and whatnot. And then we also updated the Fly Flinger. So the Fly Flinger blank has stayed the same the whole time, correct? Yes.
Up until this one, yes.
So, and then we changed the looks of it a little bit, but with this, we had an opportunity to have the same taper profile, but just updating the materials that it's made from a little bit so that the new one is a little bit lighter than the old one. It's also a little bit more stable. So that helps it handle the wind better, helps it with accuracy. So you don't have as much side to side movement of the rod blank during the cast. And then we were also able to get in a new paint job. So it's not just an upgraded rod from the looks side of things. It is upgraded in its actual performance. Same action, same medium fast action, same taper. We kept all that the same. We just had the opportunity to tweak the materials it was made with and upgrade to the newer and nicer materials so that it's a better product. And it's still whatever we were selling them before, it's still the same price as well. So,
and just to give you a little context on why we have the new rods, we've had our base Fly Flinger for a while, for probably 4 years now.
Yeah.
And so that's our 9 foot 5 weight. That's our entry level rod. So if you've been here at VFC, we teach a lot. We talk about how beginners can start fly fishing. We have our beginner masterclass on YouTube.
But what happens when you start to grow out of that beginner phase, Alex?
Yeah.
You start to collect a few fly rods, don't you?
Well, you want to start doing other things.
Yes.
Like, for example, this summer, I've been wanting to get into dry fly fishing a lot more. Some people, they want to fish streamers. Some people, they want to fish bigger rivers where it's windy and you have to be more accurate with your casts because if you line the fish, it's gone and you're so sad and you cry and it's a bad day.
So we want to just give you guys more tools that we believe in that would help accomplish those goals.
Yeah,
so that's where the rods came from.
You have the entry level rod, right? And the Fly Flinger is going to be great for anybody getting into it. Even like intermediates. Yeah. Like you could use the Fly Flinger the rest of your life and it would get the job done. Yeah, I did for a long time. Yeah. But the idea is you want to specialize. And so we have these the question we get all the time is, I want to upgrade my fly rod. What should I get? And that's the problem these rods are trying to solve is I want to upgrade to a dry fly rod, go to the riser. I want to upgrade to a hopper, dropper, windy, big rivers, smaller streamers, Bug Bomber. I just want a nicer 5 weight.
A faster action.
A faster action, like better hardware, more accurate, lighter. Yep. Just like I would say a nicer rod. Yep. That's what the Fly Flinger Pro is for.
Yep. So they've been fun. The folks who have bought a few have been big fans. There'll be links to look at all this down in the show notes.
We've been fishing
really
them for like the last 2 or 3 years as we've been prototyping them, and they're
Someone
great.
asked me the other day, they're like, what do you think of them now that you've had them for a bit? I'm like, I like them more than I did.
Agreed.
Which is not the negative take on it, right? It's like I fished it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. And then the more I fish it, the more I'm like, oh yeah, this is like really, it continues to surprise me in the positive way of like, oh yeah, no, this is really good. So they've been really great to have. And we are going to start having some fly line upgrade options as well. We are actually a Scientific Anglers dealer now. So we'll have some lines specifically for our rods that we recommend that to pair with, like, you want to dry fly fish. Okay, this line with this rod is going to give you the best experience.
And it was kind of the same thing where people were asking, I want to upgrade my fly line. Yep. What should I get? And we were recommending people to Scientific Anglers a lot. And so
that's what we use. Well, I've used them for
let's just put it on the website and make it easy for people.
Yep. So it's there. I'm not sure right when we're going live with that.
Probably in the next month or two, okay. I would imagine.
Yep. So we'll have some lines there.
We got to make a video about fly lines first.
Yes, which we're in the works.
Yeah.
And then sitting over on my desk, I've got almost the final prototype. It might even be the final prototype of our chest pack.
Yeah.
Because we got our packs and bags.
Yeah. So we've been working on a new sling pack, hip pack, and chest pack lineup.
Yep. So if you're a vest guy or gal, apologize. Not on this round.
If you are a vest guy or gal, please let us know, because I've had a couple people reach out and they want a vest.
And I think I want a vest now too. And I've been using a chest pack for so long, but I think I want a vest. And maybe if I lose weight, the chest pack will be fine again. But I think I want the vest. So, because I wore a vest for forever before I went to a chest pack.
Because the people that are helping us make the bags, the packs, they're fantastic. Oh yeah, they're really good. They are world class at what they do. We poach them
from these companies that we can't mention because it's like this huge NDA thing. But you know, we took on a little bit of consumer debt and, you know, make that payday loans all around. No, I'm kidding. We found a really great design studio. I wouldn't say we got lucky. We just found really great people to work with, and they've exceeded expectations.
Yeah, they're
I would
really,
say.
really
Fantastic.
good at what they do.
Yes.
And as soon as we're done with the hip check, the hip pack, the chest pack, and the sling pack, I'm thinking about having them work on a vest.
Might have to.
I'm considering it. So
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see what happens. They're not going to make waders and boots though, because I don't think we want to get into that.
Yeah,
people ask us about that. It's too technical.
Yeah,
of gear that we don't have the intimate knowledge of. Because I'll tell you, first off, all the best factories that do apparel aren't in the U.S. even. So the communication.
Are we talking apparel or waders and boots?
Waders and boots. Sorry, like technical apparel. Sorry, is what I meant. Like. And even, you know, we talk about Sims, they make their waders in the U.S. They're really just assembled in the U.S. All that material isn't made in the U.S.
Yeah, very specialized materials for waders.
Yes. And it's just, the knowledge base is just so hard to find. And then the people who know it, they're all already working for other
on
people.
waders and boots. So, yeah, it's like the way we see it, there's people that are working on making really good waders and boots 24/7.
Yep.
And we'd rather just work with them on the waders and boots. I think there's other areas where we're more excited about it.
Yes.
And we feel like we could add to the fly fishing world without just throwing up another product and being like, here you go. It's kind of like these ones.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we've decided not to pursue waders and boots at the moment. Things could change in the future, but for that reason, we've partnered with Squala. Yep. We've used Squala waders and boots for years now.
I've been using their stuff since
they started.
Before they started.
Yeah.
And they're great. It's the stuff I recommend. It is pricey, but it's worth it. Yeah. If you fish more than about 20 days a year, it's worth just making the investment and getting the stuff that's going to last you and be durable. And
I just picked up my first pair of RS waders. Yeah. They have the zipper in the front. This is my very first pair of zippered waders. I'm excited.
It's a life-changing moment.
That's
when it
what
happens.
I hear.
It's great.
Yeah.
Hats and apparel. Do we need to talk about that? Because we've had a few questions about that.
Yeah.
Lately.
A lot of our hats are out of stock because I have not found a great hat company.
I'm not going to lie. Not the most comfortable design and model. Like, it's okay, but not my favorite. And zoom in a little bit. Stains very easily. And when you're a hefty feller, tend to sweat a little bit. So all my hats look terrible now.
I like our rope hats. I like this hat. Our rope hats are pretty great. I wear that one all the time. It's the most comfortable one.
Yeah.
You don't like flat brims, so
No.
it's tough.
Well, I don't skateboard.
But I mean, if anyone is listening to this podcast and you're really good at making hats,
let us know.
like seriously, let me know because I have had the hardest time. I think I've worked with 5 or 6 different hat companies and they've all just
not been great.
They've overpromised and underdelivered.
Yep.
Which has been very hard. So
as far as apparel goes, I don't know. Are we ever going to do shirts? I do fanny packs. We'll get you a VFC fanny pack.
Here's the deal with shirts. I don't want to just come out with like a crappy t-shirt that has our logo on it.
Yeah.
That doesn't appeal to me.
But they're a walking billboard for VFC. Think about the advertising opportunities, Alex. No, I'm right there. I need a bougie button up is what I need.
It's like if we could get some of like the really nice material shirts and have our logo on it, I would be down for that.
Yeah.
But then we're talking about $50 t-shirts and I don't know if people are going to buy $50 t-shirts.
I'm not spending $50 on a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's like stuck between a rock and a hard place on that one.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that's really not a priority. As much fun as it would be to have, it's just not something that we really want to get into.
Our focus right now is on the vise. It's on the rods. It's on... we actually skipped this one. So we made a post in school about our new fly rods. And I would say 50% of the comments were like, what reel do I put with this rod?
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about reels. We are working on...
Like I said, Berkeley...
Is it just one reel? Is that, or is he working on a couple?
Long term,
I forget.
So again, like I said, Berkeley and Devin, they've been doing a CNC machining program so that we can start making reels, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is we'll have an entry-level reel that goes with the fly flinger. We'll have a die cast reel, which is basically like you heat up metal, you put it in a mold reel, and then we'll have a machine reel, which is like a fancy one, which Spencer's kind of against that one a little bit.
Because I think 90% of trout reels on the market are an obscene waste of money.
Yeah.
So, because 90% of trout you catch, you don't use the drag for. And of those 10% that you use the drag, you never use the drag to its fullest extent.
But if you're not looking at it from a utilitarian standpoint, like, why do I have this reel? And you just want one that looks cool.
Yeah.
That's how I see the machine reels.
100%.
Yeah.
And I see that part of it, but I just have a hard time with them because I'm like,
it's like spending $400 or $600 on a reel.
I would never own one unless I'd had few in for, like, they were given to me to review. That's the only reason I have the ones that I do is because they were given to me to review. Otherwise, I would still be rocking the cheap Reddington die cast or the one that we have here at VFC.
Yeah.
So, because it's just, that's all you need.
So that's the long-term game plan. Berkeley and Devin are working on them as we speak. So that's what's happening with reels. And then
the last thing to talk about is
this is cool. Tell them about
Trout
this.
Routes partnership. So, Alex, tell the people how against fly fishing apps I was.
Very. Yeah, we made a whole podcast about it once. He said
2 years ago,
"Hey, I want to make a podcast episode. What do you think of this?" It was like the dark side of fly fishing apps or something like that.
It's like, why fly fishing apps are ruining fly fishing. I was anti-app for a really long time.
And I was too, I'll be honest.
And then Trout Routes reached out a long time ago. I don't even remember how long ago.
It was pretty soon after they started. So it had to have been like 2 or 3 years ago, probably.
Well, and then I just deleted the email and didn't tell you about it. So I'm like, we're not talking about that.
They also reached out on Instagram. So
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and I was pretty. I mean, it was around the same time as the fly fishing apps episode, and so I kind of just rolled my eyes and was like, nah.
Yeah, and then they reached out again, and this time I didn't delete the email, and Alex is much more amenable to conversations than I am. Yeah. So,
and what's cool is I've been using Onyx forever. That's the app I've been using to tell public versus private land. You can see like the topography stuff, access points, things like that. And so we've been using Onyx for a while. And then the reason I was open to the email that came through is Onyx acquired Trout Routes.
Yeah, a little while ago. And so we were like, let's have the conversation. So we sat down
with our guy Eric.
We're in that meeting with Eric over at Trout Routes, and he was nicer to me than I deserved, because we sit down. I'm like, all right, I hate fly fishing apps. Why are you wasting my time? And I don't think that's quite how I said it. But I was full of piss and vinegar.
A little bit, but it wasn't.
I mean,
you were skeptical.
I tried to be diplomatic, but I was very, like, I think this is a waste of time at the beginning.
A little bit. That's why I started talking first.
So Eric just walks me through it. He just pulls the app out. He's like, okay, well, it tells you public and private land. I'm like, okay, that's helpful. The other thing he told me is shows, here's boat ramps. I'm like, okay, that very helpful. Here's all your flow data. Oh, okay, I go to the USGS website for that. And now I don't have to. Okay, I can get that. This is what species of fish are in this stream. Okay, well, I go to this state game and fish website for that, and this state game and fish website for this. And okay, all right, I can see that. And then now that it's with Onyx, you got the topography, so you can see that. And you got the satellite map, so you can see that. So really, it took everything.
You also have to add, and there's no, I caught this fish here, and here's a picture of me, and here's
there's
the
no
GPS
social media aspect to it. It's
Yes.
literally just all the information I was using on 4 or 5 different websites is now all in one place. So once I realized that, ate a little bit of crow and said, yeah, okay, I was wrong. Once I realized that, I was like, okay, this is actually a pretty helpful tool.
It was basically like, this is for Onyx, but for fishing.
Yes.
And we were like, oh, okay, cool.
And we've been using it ever since we had that chat with him.
Yeah.
Been really helpful. Really helpful to find boat ramps, especially on those floats we talked about earlier in the show.
Yeah, there were certain sections of the river that when we were floating that was actually public. It was almost like an island within private land.
Yep.
So we could get out of the boat and fish it. It was
kind of
cool.
Really helpful to know that stuff. So it's just been like, I changed my tune on it. And then I also said, well, if you want me to publicly change my tune on it, then you're going to need to give me something. And what I want you to give me is something great for the listeners of Untangled. And so what they did is Eric said, all right, they get a free month of Trout Routes Pro. So Untangled listeners, just for you guys, there's a link down in the show notes or QR code here on the screen.
You didn't stop there, though. You're like, hey, we don't want any credit card information.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing worse than getting a free trial.
You got to put your credit card, your social security, your address.
After the 7 days, you forget that you put all that in.
See, and I never forget. So
yeah. Well, you're better about that than I am. I need my free trial now, and I'm going to start using the app. And then it's like, this isn't as good as I thought it was. And then I forget about it. So.
Yeah. But no, there's no credit card. You just have to sign up. Free month pro access with our code. Again, it's in the show notes or on the screen in a QR code here, so that you guys can actually just see if it's helpful for you. And if it is, awesome. If not, and again, the only reason we bring it up is it's something I've actually been using and have found helpful. So
it's been very helpful.
If it didn't
it's great.
help us out, I wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
so that's a fun new partnership that we have.
I think that covers all of our gear stuff. I think now we've got a few more questions. So let's go to this one from Rick.
This is kind of about gear, though.
Will VFC sell their gear internationally in the future? Rick Harvey wants to know.
So like I mentioned earlier, we are moving new warehouses, inventory management software. The last thing I want to do is, while we're getting settled, throw another cog into the machine and just cause chaos for our friends in the product side.
Yep.
So we are holding off on international shipping for a little while until we get our foundation settled, we get our base dialed in, and then we can open the borders.
Unless, Canada, if you guys want to be the 51st state, we'll welcome you in. I had to make that joke. I apologize. It'll be soon-ish, I would probably say. It's definitely on the horizon. We definitely want to make it happen. And I think Canada will obviously be the first that we open up. And then probably the UK after that, if we had to rank them. But hopefully we can just open it all at once.
I think it's as easy as opening it all. I don't think it's that tough. It's more of just the logistical side and
sure we have enough
manpower side of we have 2 guys over here that ship orders every day, and that's not the only thing that they do. And so as much as I want to just say, let's flip the switch right now and let's get it going and cause chaos and we'll figure it out as we go, we can't right now. I'm trying to be patient.
So it'll happen. We promise.
Yep.
All right. Let's just go to this one from Androsh. Okay. Our guy Androsh. Alex fished with him. What was that? 2 years ago.
2024 in Slovenia.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's
really cool guy.
Been an OG member of the school group, I think, too. But he asks, how are you guys actually doing? Are you getting enough time to breathe, switch off, and spend time with your families, or is the whole VFC madness keeping you running 24/7? You guys spend so much time behind the camera showing us fishing that I'm wondering if you still get enough time to just leave the camera at home, go fishing, have fun, and clear your heads without thinking about filming or making content. Hope you're both doing good and finding some time for yourselves too. Sometimes the best fishing is the one nobody gets to see.
Spencer's a lot better at this than I am.
At what?
Just going fishing.
Yes.
To go fishing.
Yes, I will just go fish to go fish. Like I mentioned earlier, though, I have not. It's so inconvenient. I don't have anybody, and I grew up in Utah. I don't know how I fished as much as I did living here because it is so inconvenient to get anywhere to fish from the Wasatch Front because there's so much traffic. And then especially this year, the water's so warm. So a lot of the low elevation stuff is not accessible. So you really got to go up high elevation and get away so that you're not harming the fish. So I definitely have not fished enough this summer. That's really starting to bug me in a lot of ways.
That Spencer the other day looks at me and he goes, I'm going to fish more. I'm going to fish more. I was like,
expect less work from me. Okay, Alex? Hire me that intern
I'm
I've
all
been
about
begging
it.
for.
You go fish. You get us some good stories so you can share them with us.
I need to. So, enough time with the families? I don't know. Live with my in-laws right now, so probably too much would be the answer.
Too much time with the family.
Yeah. While we're building a new house, we have nowhere else to go. So,
I personally, I fished a lot in May, June, and the early part of July. Like I was out pretty much every week.
Yeah.
But with the drought and the water warming up and just the bugs being weird and the fish being weird
and the warehouse move
and all that, I have not fished very much the last month.
Yeah.
I've been golfing a lot. So, and that's been really fun for me because I grew up golfing. I love golfing. I played golf in college. Like I call it my hobby.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, fishing's a hobby, but it's like, I don't recommend
calling fly fishing a hobby is like calling brain surgery a job.
Yeah.
It's not really a hobby. It's a lifestyle.
It is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend
Paul Schullery for that quote, by the way.
It's really hard having golf and fly fishing because it's the same seasons. And so they compete with one another. And so I find this ebb and flow where I love fly fishing for a while and I just go all the time and I'm loving it. And then I'll creep back into golf for a minute and I'll go every week and I love it and it's fun. But I have a feeling that as soon as the temps start to drop a little bit and the streamer bites on, I'm going to get back out there.
Yeah, I agree. No, you think you can get enough family time though?
Yeah, I've been trying to manage my schedule a little bit better because I love working.
Yep.
Like we love working on VFC. We love making videos. We love doing the podcast.
It's 24/7, I would say.
Yeah. My mind is always just, how can we make this better? How can we make that better? Like,
I'll get 4 or 5 a.m. texts from him like, dude, we got to do this. And he'll get 1 or 2 a.m. texts from me.
I'm the morning guy. Spencer's the late night guy. So it's pretty funny.
And it's like, dude, we got to do this. Like, I watched this episode of Top Gear. We're totally ripping this idea off. We're going to go do this. So it's I don't think it ever really shuts off though. It's just, it's a lot. It's good. Definitely not complaining, but it's a lot more goes into it than I think is necessarily ever seen on the screen too.
Agreed.
So,
but I wouldn't have it any other way.
No,
I'm one of those guys where Spencer and I have talked about this. We're the same. We go on like a family vacation and you're sitting, like we can't sit on the beach.
No.
Like maybe an hour and then we got to be doing something.
Yeah.
So,
well, like I got a bone to pick with my parents. They don't watch the show though. They don't really care about what I do for a living. So I can whine about this all I want. None of my family does. But for Christmas, they're like, we're all going to Disneyland. They know that Disney's a no-go for me. I'm not doing it because I refuse to pay that much money to go stand in line. I'm not a theme park guy. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to travel that much, especially with a 15-month-old.
Yes.
Like,
some people love it. Some people don't. Myself included.
She's not going to remember it. She's not going to, like, so the whole, you're going to make memories with her kid. Like, well, she's not going to freaking remember any of it. But every time I'm like, hey, let's go to Yellowstone. Let's go to Glacier. Let's go somewhere that's not a theme park. It's just, no, all you want to do is fish. No, that's not what I said. I said, let's go somewhere that there's something for everybody because the rest of them, they like hiking. They like that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go do that. I would much rather do that than stand in the line all day. So forgot where I was going with that, but I guess I just need to get it off my chest. So as far as family time goes, there was a point to that rant. I don't remember anymore.
Family time.
Yeah. So I guess I'm not getting any because they're abandoning us for Christmas. Plus, we're supposed to move into the new house like at the beginning of December. I'm not going anywhere. Stay in my new house. So that's the plan. But well, let's wrap things up with your favorite part of the show, Alex.
This is my favorite part.
The live real life moment.
I know. I actually got the stuff for the office in here, the conference room.
Oh, sweet.
That sounds so official. Conference room.
It's not a conference room.
What would we call it?
It's where the drinks are.
The battle room. What are they?
It's the drink cave.
The drink cave. Yeah, I like that. The drink cave.
Yeah.
I got all the stuff for the live real life wall.
Sweet.
So I'm gonna put, the plan is all the live real life moments that people submit, you submit a picture. I'm going to try and print all those off. And then I got some, it's like cork almost, but it's our VFC green. And I'm going to do the whole wall with a live real life right in the middle. And then I'm going to put all the pictures around live real life. Cool. And so the first thing you see when you walk in is the live real life moments.
Be great. You want to do the honors reading this one or you want me to?
I got it.
All right. Let's
do it. I caught a fish of a lifetime 2 weekends ago while on a solo camping trip. I had a guy fishing nearby take the photo. You always love that when the guy comes over to help out. This brown measured 23 inches and estimated to be almost 5 pounds. Achieving my lifelong goal to catch a trophy-sized brown trout at just 20 years old means so much to me. Not just because of the fish itself, but also because of my why behind what I do. My dad taught me everything I know about fly fishing starting when I was just 6 or 7 years old. He was always there on every fly fishing adventure, guiding me along the way while instilling in me a passion for fly fishing and the outdoors. I always sought to catch a fish even when he would be impressed by, as he had countless trophy-sized fish of all species to his name. He unexpectedly passed away last September, a day before my 20th birthday, which has been the hardest thing I've ever had to struggle with in my entire life. Processing everything has been beyond difficult. Since then, fly fishing has turned from a passion to an obsession, and I can use it as an escape. It almost helps me clear my head while enjoying some of the most beautiful landscapes on earth, doing the thing I love most. In a way, fly fishing has made me feel like I am reconnecting with my dad every time I do it as well. For me, there's nothing more rewarding than putting in the work to both find and explore new places to fish and finding success in these new places. That is exactly why I did what I did here, doing it all solo. With all of this being said, this fish means more to me than anything, especially considering all the days of hard work I put in to refine my skills and teach myself how to become a better fly fisherman now that my dad is no longer here to be my instructor and guide. Finally, if you are able to, please go tell your dad you love him, because you never know when it could be your last opportunity. Thank you all for taking the time to read this.
That's live real life in a nutshell, isn't it? Yeah. Silent because we just really don't have anything else to add to it. It was just very moving, very touching, and very grateful that you would share that with us. So appreciate it a bunch.
That's what fly fishing's all about right there.
It is. Well, and on that somber but very also uplifting note, it's going to be the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you could do us a favor, please rate and subscribe to the show wherever you're listening to it. And the more ratings and subscriptions we get, the more folks we can help live real life. That's our goal here at VFC. That's what we do. We want y'all to have those experiences. So tell everybody you know about it. Rate, subscribe, smash that subscribe. And until next time, everybody, get out of the water, enjoy yourselves, and live real life.